Hi and welcome to Be Frank for this Good Friday. My name's Emma and I'm part of the leadership of St Francis. And today we arrive with Jesus at the cross. Good Friday, one of the darkest days of the church calendar. As we've travelled through Holy Week with Jesus, we arrive at the foot of the cross and watch him crucified. But as we watch, we know what is to come. So in many ways, whilst it is the darkest and heaviest of days, it is also, because of that, the most hopeful, because we know that whilst we stand at the cross on Good Friday, Easter Day is coming. The resurrection is around the corner and the world is about to change. So we join the story today as Jesus has just been crucified. So he is on the cross in that moment of extreme intensity. He's prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane. And he's been through the trial, and Pilate's done his bit to try and get him off, and eventually just washed his hands and handed him over. And there he is, physically on the cross. And we come to these words. I'm in John chapter 19, verse 26. When Jesus saw his mother and the disciple whom he loved standing beside her, he said to his mother, "Woman, here is your son." And he said to the disciple, "Here is your mother." And from that hour, the disciple took her into his own home. The tenderness of that moment just blows me away. Woman, here is your son. And then to his friend, here is your mother. Jesus is dying. He is bearing the sin of the world on his shoulders. It looks, to all intents and purposes, like the great plan has been thwarted. He's in agony, physical agony, and he's been through the terror of Gethsemane the night before. This is not a cosy time for a family moment. And yet he sees the tears and the fear in the eyes of his mother and his friend. He sees into the relationships of those whom he loves, and he speaks right into that personal, messy, relational place. He perceives the practical uncertainty that befalls Mary. We think she's probably a widow at this point. There's nobody to look after her. Her future is really uncertain. And he sees the needs in his friends. And he speaks into that, redefining relationships, redefining who belongs to who, building bonds where blood has not, binding people together. He speaks as he speaks to those two, as he speaks to each one of us, to call them to love one another in practical and real ways, as well as in relational and emotional ways. He's bound these two people together. And I wonder if there's something we can take from that. Do we ask ourselves perhaps today, do we really let Jesus have that level of effect on us? To redefine our relationships so that we might see those around us as brothers and sisters, mothers, fathers, daughters and sons? Do we let our faith redefine who we are and really change the way we relate to one another? Because in that moment, Jesus reminds us of his ultimate mission to reconcile man to God and to reconcile each one of us to the other. I wonder if we'll allow ourselves to be challenged by that as Christ hangs on the cross today. So we stand at the foot of the cross on Good Friday and we look to Easter Sunday, which is just around the corner. Peace and all good.